Cheers everyone, it's Pete here. So here in the UK we've had stringent lockdown rules for, well, it feels like forever, but it's been quite a few weeks since just after Christmas. And you would imagine that with all that extra indoor time, I would have got to the end of all my indoor projects. But you'd be wrong, the project list only ever gets longer, never shorter. So it'd be worth doing a video just to show what I've been up to, and more importantly, all the things I still haven't got round to, and there's quite a lot of them. In my defence, I have still been going to work throughout, and also just getting something onto YouTube every week takes quite a bit of time, just this. So let's have a look. Right, where should we begin? These guys are kind of related. So I bought a Street Rover from Derek Woodgate last year because I really like the classic Sand Rover body shell. But one thing I didn't like so much about the re-released Sand Rover and the Street Rover was the fact that the body doesn't really fit very nicely onto the DT-02 chassis, because the back here doesn't really fit very nicely over the gearbox. So what I've got here is a Tamiya TT-02 chassis, and it seems to sit nicer on there because on the DT-02 the back wheel sits far too far forward, and so the front wheels end up poking right out the front, and it doesn't look right. Whereas on this TT-02 it does look better, and this is sort of a finished project. This does run, but what I could do with is the bumper being bigger now, because the body pokes out further than the bumper, and that's something I'm never quite happy with, because in a crash you don't want to smash the body in. So I don't know how to do that. If anyone's got any ideas about how to do that, then let me know. So these wheels I've got are the most beach buggy like I could find out of the ones that I had. So I think it looks pretty good. One better thing about using the TT-02 chassis is that you haven't got the shocks poking up through the bonnet anymore, and you haven't got the shocks poking up through the middle there like they used to. So what I could do with is to be covering up those holes, maybe with some mesh on the front and maybe some luggage or something at the back. But it's one of those where you think, why didn't Tamiya do that? Because it fits much nicer. One thing I've done is just to put some bits of plastic at the side there, just so you can't see straight through, because without that you can see the battery and the electronics, which looks a bit rubbish. So although that's not brilliant, from a distance it does look more like a solid car. So I've used that Street Rover DT-02 chassis and wheels for this holiday buggy that I'm building up. The holiday buggy fits much nicer on the DT-02 because the back of the body fits okay over the gearbox there. I've just got to finish off the body shell really. Apart from that, that will be good to go. It's actually only got a 380 motor in at the moment. I will put a 540 in. This is going to be a sort of light runner. I have got a whole nother holiday buggy kit to build up, and that's going to be more brushless, but this one's going to be a bit more for show. So over here in Painty Corner we've got the Wild Willy 2 project, which is in progress. Lots of painting to be done on this. That's not really my forte, but I'm having a go. So that, when I've done it, will feature on the channel as a build. With the chassis here, I haven't sort of really done much at all on that yet. I'm going to save that until I've done all the painting, because I think it's quite a straightforward build. So Arrma Typhon 3S is the new one to me. So this is an 8th scale buggy. Look how enormous it is next to a Tamiya 10th scale. So I bought this recently from a friend Nick, and although Nick enjoyed owning this, he also likes owning exotic pets. So he bought himself a new tarantula called Skeletor apparently, and he's very happy with it. And I'm very happy to have this. I think I'd rather have this than the tarantula. And what this needs really is, it's got the leaky version 2 shocks, so it needs the fix with the Tamiya O-rings. I've actually got a whole set of these shocks. I've already had the mod done, so I can just put them on. Also, it just needs a steering servo. I've ordered one of the super fast Banggood ones, the Eco Boost, which have been very good on the other ones. But other than that, I think it's good to go. So in Lunchbox Corner, this body shell is sort of held together with tape. I've got a whole another body set for this to build up. Then over here we've got this one, which is sort of finished. So this is one of Pete Smith's Lunchbox bodies that he's converted into a pickup truck, and I've just finished it off with the paint and the stickers, and I put working lights in this one. So yeah, that looks very nice. Just really what I could probably do with this, maybe some luggage in the back. I have got an idea for a video with this one, but this is going to be one for keeping nice. It's not going to be a basher like my other Lunchboxes. So right down here we've got the big rockified Senton. Right, so you might have seen this before. So it started off life as a Senton, and then for the winter season I put this big rock body on and the granite wheels, basically because there was too much mud going inside the chassis with the Senton body. But as the weather gets better, I want to put it back to being a Senton. So we're putting these wheels back on and this body back on, but I still think there'd be too much stuff going inside the chassis, so I've just bought something else to help with that. So I've got this Scorched Parts Arrma Senton in a fender set, or in a wheel arch set. You have to cut that in half, and once that's fitted, in theory it should stop all the mud going inside the chassis. I still think in the depths of winter when it's really muddy, you're still going to have a hell of a clean up job, because all the mud's just going to gather under the wheel arches. So I'll probably still do the big wheel thing and the big rock body during the worst of the winter months, but I think when it's a bit better and it's just general dirt, then these would be really good. Yeah, Sand Scorcher. So this one I didn't build myself, but it's pretty much unused, and I do want to run it, but this body shell's a bit too nice really. The guy who did this did a pretty decent job, didn't he? So one thing I can do is to use my one of the Datsun shells that I've done, and they were on the sort of pretend blitzer. But also what I've got is this Sand Scorcher body set. So I did do one of these before and it did take quite a bit of time, and I didn't even do that good of a job on it, but I do plan to paint this up and run it. So down here I've got my so-called unbreakable blitzer, which is based on the DT-02 chassis. I did a video about this one. Unfortunately I've broken it. Alright, so what's happened this time is that this is broken here where the top arm joins that piece there, and so I think next time I'll try and find something to strengthen that a bit, because I've protected the arm here from breaking by putting the metal in, but obviously that's still a weak spot, so I will look into that. Any ideas? Gratefully received. So here we've got the Racing Fighter. So this one got chewed by a dog almost the first time I used it, and then the rear wings just got generally battered anyway. So I could probably do with a new body shell for it, or what I could do is make a sort of odd truck thing out of it, make it a bit more of a basher. So over here we've got the Datsun 240Z on the TT-02 chassis. I've got this black basher body, and I've also got a nicer blue body for it. So I've got yet another Datsun 240Z body set for this to build up in the rally colours. Now that's going to take an awfully long time because I did one before, and it's quite a tricky job. Well, it was for me anyway. Okay, so over this side I've got the Jimny, and I've got a whole body set to build up for that one. I've got some new wheels for it, tied it up. It's quite an old one now, a bit battered, but still a good runner. Yeah, so there's the FTX Bugsta. So as discussed in a video I did about this one, the gearbox isn't really strong enough for the brushless set I put in it. So what I might do with this is to put it back to a brush system and sell it, because it's a fairly decent RC, but with a brushed motor it's not really quick enough for me, and I've got better ones than this. So yeah, this might be better with somebody else. Now my friend Nick's given me this, which is the driver figure out of his Comedy Avanti. Nick did a bit of paint on the face there and decided painting things wasn't quite for him, so yeah, I'm going to build this up. I'm not sure what it's going to end up in, but that will look good in something. So with all those projects still to do, you'd imagine that I would crack on immediately and get on with them, but first of all I'm going to have some more of this and finish this video. Thanks ever so much for watching. I'll see you next time.